Have you ever noticed how the financial world loves to throw the number $1 million at you as if it is the only way to survive? It is written in every headline and repeated by every guru on the internet in 2026. But for most of us who are looking at our bank accounts today, that number feels less like a goal and more like a cruel joke. If you are 50 or 60 years old and you do not have $1 million, you might feel like you have already lost the game. But what if I told you that the most important shift in your life does not happen at $1 million? What if the moment your life actually changes is much closer than you think? The truth is that the most critical transformation happens at the $30,000 mark. This is the moment when the physics of your money fundamentally shifts from survival to strategy. In this discussion, we are going to break down why $30,000 is the invisible tipping point that can save your retirement and give you back your dignity. Before we go any deeper into this financial shift, please take a moment to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Your support helps us reach more people who need to hear this message, and I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments about your own financial journey. Let us look at the reality of where we are in 2026. Prices are higher than ever, and the traditional path to retirement feels like it is crumbling under our feet. Most people spend their entire lives in what I call survival mode. When you have less than $10,000 saved, you are living in a state of constant high alert. Every strange noise your car makes, or every unexpected letter from your doctor, feels like a potential catastrophe. In survival mode, you are not working for a future. You are simply working to keep the walls from caving in today. You feel like a person pushing a massive boulder up a steep hill, and the moment you stop pushing, the weight threatens to crush you. This is the cycle of desperation that prevents you from ever seeing the bigger picture of your life. But something magical happens as you climb toward $20,000 and then $30,000. At $30,000, that knot in your stomach begins to loosen. For the first time in decades, you are no longer just surviving the week. You are finally in a position to start playing offense. Most financial experts miss this because they are too busy talking about index funds and complex portfolio percentages. They forget the psychological power of having $30,000 sitting between you and the cold reality of the world. This is the point where you gain the most underrated superpower in personal finance, and that is the power to say no. Think about how many times you have tolerated a toxic boss or a soul-crushing job because you were only 3 weeks away from being broke. Desperation is the most expensive thing you can own because it forces you to make every decision out of fear. When you have no cushion, you have no leverage. And when you have no leverage, you have no voice. But when you are sitting on $30,000, your posture changes and your voice gets a little bit deeper. You realize that you can walk away from a bad situation and survive for months while you calmly figure out your next move. In 2026, this type of independence is more valuable than any luxury car or fancy vacation. It is the moment you stop being a servant to your paycheck and start being the architect of your own time. $30,000 is not enough to retire on, but it is enough to change the rules of the game you are playing. Wealth building is not a straight line, where every dollar feels the same as the one before it. If you have $10,000 and it grows by 10%, you made $1,000, which is nice, but it does not change your daily reality. But at $30,000, the momentum starts to build a real weight behind it that you can actually feel. This is the threshold where compound interest stops being a theory in a textbook and starts being a real employee in your household. Imagine having a worker who works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without ever asking for a day off or a healthcare plan. That is what your money becomes at this stage. Even if you are starting later in life, hitting this milestone proves to yourself that you have the discipline required to win. It creates a positive feedback loop where success breeds confidence, and that confidence leads to even better financial decisions. Many of you might be wondering if $30,000 is really enough to make a difference in this modern economy. The answer is a resounding yes, because $30,000 is the foundation of what I call the freedom flywheel. Once you have this base, you can start taking calculated risks that were completely impossible when you were living paycheck to paycheck. You can invest in a new skill, start a small side business from your home, or simply wait for the right investment opportunity instead of rushing into a bad one. In 2026, the gap between the people who have a safety net and those who do not is becoming a massive social divide. If you are in your 50s, you do not have another 30 years to wait for a miracle, but you do have enough time to build a solid system. By combining $30,000 of invested capital with your future Social Security, you are creating a reliable floor for your lifestyle. You are building a fortress that can withstand the storms of inflation and economic uncertainty. Data from the Federal Reserve shows that the average person reaches retirement with much less than the media would have you believe. You do not need to be a billionaire to be successful. You just need to be above average and absolutely consistent. The hardest part of reaching $30,000 is not the math or the interest rates. It is the internal battle. It is resisting the urge to look rich before you are actually wealthy. Our society in 2026 will try to convince you that you deserve a new vehicle or a home renovation the moment you have a little extra cash. But every dollar you spend on a status symbol is a soldier you are removing from your financial army. Wealthy people do not buy things to impress people they do not even like. They buy assets to buy back their own time. They understand that the ultimate luxury is the ability to wake up and decide exactly what you want to do with your day. As we look toward the future, remember that financial independence is a marathon and not a sprint. Reaching $30,000 is like reaching the base camp of a great mountain like Everest. You are not at the summit yet, but you are finally in a position where you can actually see the top. The habits you built to get to $30,000 are the exact same habits that will take you to $100,000 and beyond. You have already done the hardest part, which is breaking the cycle of zero and starting the engine of growth. The momentum will only get faster from here because the second $30,000 comes much quicker than the first $30,000 ever did. This is because your money is now doing more of the heavy lifting, while you focus on living your life with purpose. At this stage, you start to value your time more than you value a few extra dollars. You stop hunting for the cheapest possible price, and you start looking for the best possible value for your life. This mental shift is what separates those who accumulate cash from those who truly build lasting wealth. One is motivated by the fear of loss, while the other is motivated by the possibility of freedom. In 2026, we have to be smarter than the generations that came before us, because the world is moving faster. We have to understand that our greatest asset is our ability to control our own behavior. If you can master your impulses, you can master your money, and eventually, you can master your future. If you found value in this perspective today, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with someone who might be feeling discouraged about their finances. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our upcoming deep dives into building a secure future in 2026. 26. We want to hear from you, so please leave a comment below telling us what your biggest financial goal is for this year. Are you working toward your first $10,000? Or are you crossing that $30,000 finish line right now? Your journey is unique, and sharing your progress can inspire others in our community to keep moving forward despite the obstacles. Remember that $30,000 is not just a number on a smartphone screen. It is a statement of your personal freedom. It is the physical evidence that you have taken control of your destiny and that you are no longer a victim of your circumstances. Keep your head down, stay consistent, and trust the slow but steady process of compounding. The peace of mind that comes from financial security is worth more than any material object that money could ever buy. You are building a legacy of discipline that will serve you for the rest of your life. Thank you for spending your valuable time with us today. We will see you in the next video as we continue to navigate the path to true freedom together. Take care of yourself, stay focused, and keep building for the future that you deserve.